It is currently, as you can see, it is 3:51 p.m. capturing substantial audio documentation, which is the podcast. And I was in the midst of documenting the federal prosecution of the state of California, which is underway at Holiday Inn. And this is capturing 3:48 p.m. is a video that I am going to juxtapose the crime scene that remains Holiday Inn in Victorville, California. This is the video that you'll see above was captured in July of 2024 at 3:48 p.m., which is why I started this video at or around the same time, okay? Negligible difference of 2 minutes is the same exact probative value. You're looking at, first of all, what is impossible light activity, not only because of the placement of the sun that's outside of a building. The entity is maintaining the specific environment where I am in the same parking lot where this demon is group stalking, walking in engineer light, accessing the vehicle with license plate 8 PSP 765. That's a sex offender that's monitoring, and she's going to federal prison while criminals remaining at a crime scene where the entity is profiting off of the demon possessed, who are an entity group stalking as one. They're doing so in a readily identifiable environment. The entity is maintaining this light source in what is Victorville, California at 15494 PALMDALE Road, where you're looking at a population, including sex offenders in a parking lot. Maintenance and movement in engineer light is how criminal monitoring is underway, and they represent what is the lawlessness and the ongoing criminal conduct by the government that's engaging in state surveillance with the constituents of the state. And that's what Holiday Inn represents while you're recognizing the crime scene. And on 3:48 p.m. in Los Angeles, not Hesperia, not Victorville, not San Bernardino County, nowhere sharing the same sky space. You are recognizing and recalling the evidence that's already showing what the state of California is engaging in here in San Bernardino County. And it's readily identified through its demonic maintenance of an environment that is readily identifiable. Remember, in this parking lot at 8:48 in the morning, the fake sun is still here. That's how you know that they're all group stalking. They're violent sex offenders keeping a woman under surveillance on behalf of the government inside of a private space. And they're doing so in concert with Holiday Inn, who is also going to be subject to a civil and criminal prosecution, profiting while demons such as a third party 8 PSP 765 engages in surveillance in a parking lot, and that's a sex offender that's also engaged in federal stalking. She's going to federal prison, and she will also be subject to the maintenance of a criminal record so that the rest of the country can understand who this is and what they have engaged in with the state, which domestic terrorism is no small thing. You're recognizing the sexual violence, the terrorism that an entity is maliciously engaging in concert with the demons who I'm documenting group stalking inside of the hotel. Okay, this is what an entity is doing, and all of this pattern of conduct, which I'm showing you with regard to what happened in LA at the same time, is revealing the pattern of conduct. I want you to be clear, this is a whole bunch of non-English speaking third parties, the light sources over the parking lot, and Spectrum is also group stalking. So pay attention to what you're looking at. The light source that you can see through the windshield of the third party vehicle with license plate 8NUS 341 is not the product of the light source that's over this demon, license PSP 765. The two are exclusive, okay? In other words, it's not happening at the same time, and there is no possible way that the light source that's remaining over the same venue that I'm at 8:48 in the morning is ever in LA to be captured over my leasing office, to be seen reflected through the windshield of the vehicle that's parked at Alvarado Gardens at the same time when I'm remaining in Victorville. This is speaking to what is exclusive with regard to identifying the specific environment, okay? This is, number one, how you're analyzing this crime scene. The light source is directly over my head in LA. Stalking in the parking lot, and I want you to be clear, this is a whole bunch of non-English speaking third parties, the light sources over the parking lot, and Spectrum is also group stalking while the entity is sounding in the background with helicopter activity. This is another charters communication after Spectrum. Spectrum represents the same criminal act that Holiday Inn is engaging in, and everyone else in relevant position out here. Budget Inn, Sunrise Ford, HD Grace Vision Center, the Bail Bond Center, Legends Barbells, Arco Gasoline, 76 Gas, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department is group stalking relevant position on Amargosa. They are in alignment with me. They're group stalking, and you know that the entity is targeting you because the fake sun remains over you. That's exactly what I was documenting in LA, where the state was acting via the Los Angeles Police Department, group stalking with the people of the state, which is what the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department is doing in Victorville, group stalking with the people of the state. Stationary presence in the path, driving an engineer light, which is not over them in LA. Okay? This is P.O.C.
He's going. Monitoring with those that live here.
Specific environment, group stalking. together. AOG 104. These demons are going into a frenzy right now. So what you see remaining over me in LA is the significance of moving around in this environment in Victorville, which is not sharing the natural environment. Okay, that's an Idaho plate 2T C8021. This is this third party right here, and movement under that engineer light is accomplishing that ongoing criminal monitoring. You have a bunch of demons, in other words, that are pacing, and it's appearing to the untrained eye as just traffic. This is not traffic. This is also why amplification, which is what I'm documenting, you can't hear traffic inside of this hotel room. This is an entity that's engaging in what is admitting, while the terrorism of the amplified traffic is a means of audible activity. This is a demon. This is a violent sex offender, obsessed with my genitalia, group stalking under what is a fake sun that's not over Alvarado Gardens at the same time. All right, group stalking with the African American engaging in surveillance inside of this vehicle, and this is the ongoing defiance. Engineer light is in the shade beside her vehicle. This is a demon, and she's group stalking in plain sight under the fake sun that is not over Alvarado Gardens at the same time in Los Angeles, California. This is the environment which this light source, which is remaining over this venue as I captured at 8 o'clock in the morning. Coming onto the grounds engaging in terrorism, and also speaker companies coming and participating in it. Let me be clear, Carla Lopez was here this morning and the fake sun was over me. Carla Lopez is here in the afternoon. It's 3:50. That's not the sun, nor is that sunlight. So what I'm documenting is the same pattern of conduct here. The fake sun is remaining present at this address at 8:48 in the morning, where demons such as 8PSP765, who is engaging in what is criminal surveillance by staying at a hotel, where I'm documenting the fake sun, what is at 8:48, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 7 hours later, the fake sun is still over the same exact hotel building, creating what is the unpersuasive guise of what is nothing other than engineer light. This is not sunlight where the sun is captured in the same manner like you see here over my head in Los Angeles, California, which is the substance of the video that you're looking at, captured on July 2nd, 2024. It's also not sunlight because the fake sun is literally still at this venue directly in the same manner over me at this in this parking lot at this same hotel at 8:48 in the morning. The entity is keeping what is engineer light even through what are closed blinds. While the window coverings are covering this window, engineer light is creeping underneath, covering the air conditioner unit, creeping into the depths on the floor. That's in all manner demonic. It's also demonic that the fake sun is still at this address. That's not the sun that's at any point ever in Miami, Florida, okay, where I continuously point out what is news headlines that you can reference with regard to what you're looking at in the sky space over the Miami-Dade Police Department, where they're engaging in what is an arrest of a public figure, okay, Tyreek Hill, and the light source, not the sun, because I'm documenting what is the maintenance of a fake sun over me in Southern California, and it's remaining for the duration of the day. And this is exactly the substance of the evidence that I captured in Los Angeles, and I'm now comparing it for you to witness while I'm remaining in Victorville, California. Okay, the light source that's remaining over me in Victorville is not the natural environment, nor is this what you're looking at remaining duration of time analysis simultaneously over Alvarado Gardens. There's only one sun, all right? And the light source is directly over this parking lot where demons are driving in and walking in and sitting in. That's surveillance in the specific environment where the fake sun is remaining for the duration of the day. The environment above is where the LAPD, just like the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, are group stalking. The state is acting directly group stalking with the demon possessed, who are the people of the state, who are group stalking vicariously on behalf of that corrupt government. That's where you're recognizing the significance of maintaining a specific environment, which is demonic on its face. It's impossible. It's a scientific impossibility that the sun is going to be, number one, stationary at one address for 7 hours. Secondly, it's impossible that the sunlight is the product of that condition or that environment where the sun is stationary for 7 hours. That's not sunlight. And it's also not sunlight that creates your shadow, for example, above your head, as I've shown you the specific environment inside of this hotel. I've shown you the specific environment inside of my hotel and my leasing office, my apartment and my leasing office at Alvarado Gardens, where LAPD, that's a terrorist organization, not a law enforcement agency. We're engaging in this pattern of conduct in concert with the people of the state, okay? This is a psychopath, a sex offender. She's going to federal prison. This is just defiance. When the entity is engaged in documented criminal activity, and they'll just sit there. That's mental illness. That's the defiance of the entity that's fully surrounded by evidence, and they will go to federal prison for a period. I just want you to see this
Carla Lopez is here in the afternoon. It's 3:50. That's not the sun, nor is that sunlight. That's called audible activity and pacing, and they're all engaged in federal stalking. Bell Cab, speaker companies, charter communications, which is Spectrum. Okay, that's P.O.C. The entity is engaging in what is monitoring me while I'm inside of my inside of my office.
Okay, this is Los Angeles. This is the same location where I documented the sunrise through my living room window. I lived and worked here, and the entity is engaging in an outright departure from anything consistent with, you can never contend that this is the natural environment, by virtue of duration of time analysis and by virtue of the fact that the sun was rising and setting at my apartment complex where I was living in LA. I am documenting the same P.O.C, which is not the natural environment. It's not coexisting at the same time. It's highly unintelligent what the entity, the environment where the entity is shown to be a bunch of demons who are stalking together as a corrupt entity. This is exposed public corruption, and this system of public corruption is demonic. Okay, they're demons who are stalking you, and that's what Holiday Inn's workforce is engaged in, and they're all going to federal prison for it, and they're doing so engaging in more of their demonic behaviors, which is terrorism, meaning you will be subject to a civil recovery based on the terrorism that Holiday Inn, a corrupt company, is engaging in and facilitating with the government that's keeping you under surveillance criminally, group stalking you. While I go inside of my office, that light source is directly over my office, which is not the same environment that this demon is group stalking me by sitting in her vehicle. She is not acting by herself. These demons are all pacing on Mariposa, on Ramona. They're group stalking on all of the streets around. This is all surveillance. They're pacing. This is pacing under the light source that's remaining here for the duration of the day, morning until evening. That's why you have it on the opposite side of the same hotel while I'm at the entrance, 8:48 in the morning, 5:32 p.m., still in alignment with me at the same hotel, in alignment with my hotel room window, and creating what is just amber colored engineered light, advancing more and more. None of this is congruent with the maintenance, the rising and setting of the fake sun at Alvarado Gardens, where the entity was engaging in the hallmark, stalking in helicopters. This demon is under what is the light source. This demon is going to be prosecuted in concert with Holiday Inn, Budget Inn, Arco, 76, Legends, Barbell, Starbucks. They're all commercial actors. You know that Starbucks is a group stalker, heavily documented group stalking, state surveillance, and harassment and terrorism as an entity by virtue of Starbucks. Okay, that brand name is already tarnished. They are in Palmdale group stalking, engaging in a sex offense. Okay, the entity is doing so with knowledge of the fact that they're being documented.
And let me be clear: what Carla Lopez is doing is what the entirety of the entity is doing, which is engaging in surveillance.
All right. So while I sit in my office, the entity that's monitoring evidence engages in the pattern of conduct, group stalking by helicopter.
Private space, corporate invasion of privacy. While they're driving onto the grounds of the property, let me be clear: delivering a package to a third party is P.O.C. Coming onto the grounds and providing some sort of service is P.O.C. Okay? And they're doing so in the unnatural environment with the demons that live here. You already know what Akeem Maradiaga is. Engineer Light moves all over the dumpster while he crosses path, and LAP is flying over
by helicopter. All right, so you can see the impossible light activity that appears in my office as I close the door. Impossible light activity, like you saw the demons group stalking in room 425.
Source right through the windshield. All right, coming on crossing path, and engineer light is on the office that is monitoring with minor children. Okay, and those are the people of the state that Heather Till.
All right, that's impossible light activity that was illuminating the wall while I'm inside of the building. Sunlight is again, that's the same pattern that you saw with regard to the specific environment as I opened up these demons open up the door. That's a pattern. That's impossible light activity. It's not the product of sunlight, nor is this the sun that's remaining at this same exact address for what is at 7 hours now at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, that's the sex offense that these demons are engaging in group stalking at room 425. Stalking with louder and louder noise, the more that they're engaged in corporate invasion of privacy, group stalking in the specific environment where the fake sun remains over Holiday Inn, and it is not over Alvarado.
Possessed group stalker who's going to federal prison.
So as I'm documenting, the entity is engaging, this is in the workplace. Everybody that was working for speaker companies, just like everybody working for Holiday Inn, is going to federal prison. All right, the entity's group stalking by living at Alvarado Gardens. They're all going to federal prison, just like the demons staying at the hotel. They're going to federal prison. All right, the entity is group stalking by flying over the
helicopter.
apartment.
So let's get Melanie Pena, Heather Till, Carla Lopez, federal prison. Flying right over the office.
Flying right over my office, where the fake sun is remaining right over my office. This is how you're recognizing a terrorist organization that is exhibiting demon possession while group stalking you through the hallmark, heavily documented helicopter activity. This is psychological torture and terrorism by the entity that's group stalking with the demons who are maintaining criminal presence in the path in concert with that entity. The entity is doing so with knowledge. In other words, federal stalking in violation of Title 18 remains underway, while they are monitoring you, and you are aware of the fact, first of all, the POC is providing evidence to the entity that is engaging in that pattern of conduct, and the entity is monitoring that evidence. And that's why this African-American demon-possessed sex offender is sitting in her hot car group stalking under the fake sun with engineer light beside her vehicle in the shade. Okay, that's impossible light activity right there. She's group stalking. That's not the product of any natural sunlight, and that sex offender knows exactly what it is that I'm talking about while she sits in defiance of federal law. Such psychopaths go to federal prison, period. Group stalking with the demons who are pacing, and this is what LAPD is engaged in LA under the fake sun. LAPD represents the state. The constituents of the same entity, group stalking, are what is happening in Victorville at the Holiday Inn amongst the population under the fake sun. That's not the sun that would be at the same address for 8+ hours, and it's also not the sun that's over Alvarado Gardens in LA while you're looking at it directly over my window in this parking lot at this hotel in Victorville, California.
P.O.C. Oh, you ever been to prison?
Yep.
You have? You been to prison before?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where he's going, okay? You can see the fake sun directly over the top of my
All
head.
right. Crossing path in sync with LAPD in the specific.
All right, and this is where the entity is maintaining this light source directly over me, okay? This is not the natural environment. This is the specific environment where I'm being targeted with impossible light activity, being targeted with amplified audible activity, being targeted by sex offenders invading my hotel room, which is a threat to your life and safety. And the entity engages in more of this criminal monitoring behavior while they are monitoring evidence that it's federal stalking surveillance on your communication devices, via communication devices on the internet. Okay, this is what the government is doing in this specific environment, and I want you to pay attention because not only is the fake sun over my office, all right, the entity stalking by helicopter, all right, the office is distinct from where the entity was also maintaining the specific environment, which is the maintenance of the fake sun, which is not over my my apartment window. But I did capture the same time, 3:48 p.m. The entity is maintaining the light source now, concentrating it over my apartment, which is distinct from what the entity was doing, group stalking while I was at the office downstairs on the same property. But you can see with regard to that fake sun, it's remaining in what is in its position over me, which is how you're recognizing. This is what you're seeing when I'm going from city to city, county to county, and when you see me go nowhere, the fake sun goes nowhere. The fake sun rises at that address and sets at that address, which is where you're recognizing, first of all, demons, second of all, group stalkers, okay? The entity is doing so with ongoing knowledge of the fact that it's being documented, and because sex offenders are continuously engaging in that federal offense, domestic terrorism, with knowledge, that's relevant, directly relevant to how long you sit in federal prison. And the demon-possessed that engage in that pattern of conduct are doing so with impunity, which is also why the basis for loss of citizenship, naturalization. In other words, demons that are not, third parties, domestic terrorists that are not even natural born, shall be deported. You're not welcome in this country, okay? The entity's doing so while I'm capturing in LA what is not the product of sunlight, just like this. The sun that's over me in Victorville is not creating any of this sunlight.
All right, it is currently 3:48 p.m., so I'm just capturing video so you can see the light activity inside of my apartment while the Los Angeles Police Department is still stalking in helicopter. They just flew over in helicopter right now at 3:48 p.m., so I'm capturing the light activity so you are aware of.
All right, this is the same pattern of conduct that you're seeing inside of this hotel. It's not sunlight. The entity is maintaining engineer light, just like you see carrying in the hotel hallway. Also, what I'm capturing that inside of this hotel room, impossible light activity, which is the ongoing pattern of where group stalking. Impossible light, the shadow of the furniture inside, the blinds are closed, okay? So this is the engineer light that is literally filling, it's like a glowing aspect. There are multiple layers of engineer light that's surrounding, and the entity is maintaining this environment while I'm pointing at the doors. The demons are pacing in and out of the hotel rooms around my room while they're monitoring the evidence that I'm documenting on my phone inside of my hotel room, which again, the entity is not coincidentally mirroring your operation of a communication device with the creation of noise. Those are demons that know exactly what you're doing. They're sex offenders that are monitoring the evidence that's being published against it. All right, the entity is doing so in the environment that is readily identifiable. The light source is remaining over me while I'm capturing impossible light activity. This is not the product of the sun being over Alvarado Gardens at the same time. All right, now this is an example of the same light activity that I'm capturing this morning. Okay, excuse me, this afternoon. This is the light activity. This was not captured at 2:48. Excuse me. Yes, it was. This was captured at 248. This video is captured at 348, what I'm capturing above. I'm juxtaposing it with 348 as opposed to 247, which I was using to juxtapose with the UPS store. But I want you to see the light activity. That's why I'm referencing this video. It is not sunlight.
Illuminating the corner in the wall. The shadows that are casted of the furniture on the inside. All right. The shadow that's appearing above my head.
All right, that's the pattern of conduct that I'm capturing inside of, with the blinds closed. The fake sun is over the hotel again, 7 hours into the day, non-movement, while demons are pacing around in the parking lot. Demons are pacing all on the streets and the roads and the highways. Demons are engaging in criminal surveillance by working at all the commercial venues and living in relevant position at the facilitating venues around the hotel where the fake sun is remaining. It's the same exact pattern of conduct in Los Angeles, but it's not the natural environment. It is the criminal pattern of conduct, okay? The African-American driving vehicle 8 PSP 765 gets out of her vehicle. She's engaging in surveillance and doing so. She's on surveillance cameras at Holiday Inn, and you'll see this African-American female, a sex offender, a threat to children, a threat to American society while she's engaging in this system of group stalking with the state, and doing so while demons are pacing in the parking lot. You've seen the videos where they're driving an engineered light. The fake sun is on the driver's side of their vehicle, but yet you're looking at the engineered light that's appearing across the passenger side of the vehicle while they're crossing path. That's the pattern of conduct of group stalking, crossing path in engineered light. That's what group stalking is. Demons are doing so with knowledge of also what you do and what you say, and psychopaths, sex offenders, engage in that with impunity. They increase in that very terrorizing and abnormal and very weird and creepy behavior as a population. That's what group stalking is. That's what California is practicing. And your shadow appearing on the ceiling inside of the hotel room while the fake sun is outside over the building is not the product of sunlight. That's the impossible light activity, which is within the pattern of conduct. This is what I'm capturing in LA.
The ongoing federal group stalking, monitoring, state surveillance. This is a sex offense while I'm subject to it. Inside of my private space, you can see my arm as I'm waving it in front of the window. And doing so, you can see my arm on the bedroom wall, above my bedroom wall, on the ceiling. I've got multiple arms, shadows in my arms.
Now, I want to be clear, while you're looking at this light source, which again, I started this video at 348, and so we're ongoing. This is the ongoing directly probative evidence. The fake sun that's here at 348 is not creating this light activity in Los Angeles while I'm in Victorville. This fake sun over me in Victorville is not creating this light activity inside of my hotel at Los Angeles at the same time, nor is it ever on its face. The sun that's outside of the building does not create light activity that's creating your shadow above your head, okay? Which you can actually still see what is shadow activity, multiple shadows actually. It's very faint, but I'm looking at 3 shadows of my arm actually. That's not the product of sunlight. And then you're looking at what is the engineered light that's moving, advancing into the room, and then you're recalling what those demons are doing in the hallway. This is supposedly the sunlight, but you're looking at the blue tinted engineered light that's at the ceiling in the depths of the hallway. This is just paying attention to the details. These demons are group stalking amongst engineered light. They're unintelligent, okay? They're not smart, they're just obsessive. They're animalistic in their endeavor, and they're exceedingly hostile while their criminal conduct, their satanic nature is exposed. Such animals belong in cages, and that's where the people of the state of Holiday Inn are going. They're going to federal prison, okay? And they are communicating to the federal judge who's going to sentence them. That's exactly where they want to go. I'm documenting impunity and malice. They're group stalking while I'm capturing the video. That's exactly where they're going, and that's exactly where they need to be. The entities engaged in this pattern
on the ceiling, and also on the bedroom wall, you can see it, and there are multiple shadows above. This is the same light activity that I captured. You can see the pattern on the blinds right here. This is ongoing engineered light. This is the outward demonstration of demon possession by a terrorist organization that is under the corrupt leadership of Dominic Choi. These are demons who are engaging in stalking using
amplified audible activity under the fake sun and engineered light while I am standing here with my hand up, and I put my hand down. The moment that I put my hand on my waist like this, boom, stalking with amplified noise. I want to document that because that's relevant to the prosecution of the state while I'm documenting them right now in real time. So I just want to document that. That's the evidence that I continuously capture on the document entitled Holiday Inn - The People.
Okay, that's very demonic. While they're engaging in what is stalking, this is federal group stalking monitoring, that the population, the people that live here, while I'm showing you this demonic environment, this is an ongoing admission against the people of the state, and so is the stalking by the LAPD and admission against the people of the state are going to federal prison that live at Alvarado Gardens. All right, this is what the picture of the pattern of conduct looks like. It's the ongoing outward demonstration of demon possession by those who are group stalking with the government. This is something that's happening in California, in the United States. This is terrorism in the U.S., and it's It's also exposing what is the demon possession of those that are engaging in obsessive stalking as a society. All right, and then feigning masquerading as a free society, which is again the hypocrisy of that I'm exposing with regard to what is public corruption, while the state of California is engaged in federal group stalking, monitoring.
So I want you to see the light source that is directly over my bedroom window, which has nothing to do with the directed light inside of the my apartment. All right, it's not sunlight, nor is this the sun that's remaining through the windshields of the vehicles parked at Alvarado Gardens. That is not this, okay? This is not anywhere in a position to be seen reflected through the windshields of the vehicles parked at Alvarado Gardens, where I am showing you the fake sun is remaining over this parking lot where demons are pacing all around in relevant position, monitoring as a corrupt society. This is public corruption. This is also a violent sex offense, and they're doing it in a readily identifiable environment where the sun is not possibly.
You can see the light source directly above my apartment in its zenith position over my apartment. Now, when the fake sun is outside,
maintaining that light source, so I want to show you again. This is while I'm inside of my apartment in Los Angeles. This is where the entity kept the fake sun. This same apartment is where I captured the sunrise every morning as well. Through my living room window, non-movement of the fake sun in the afternoon at 3:48 p.m. The sunset through my bedroom window. This same bedroom window is what I captured day in and day out, where the terrorist organization, the LAPD, were group stalking me by helicopter, which is the substance of the evidence that's captured literally on the YouTube channel, the front page of the YouTube channel. It is for the prosecution, is the evidence submitted for you to witness, but is also exposing what federal group stalking and monitoring looks like, how the state of California is engaging in what is state terrorism and psychological torture with the highly unintelligent entity. Let me be clear, the state is also highly intelligent. They're not intelligent because they're the government that has access to helicopters. They are equally demonic. They are equally unintelligent, unsophisticated. They just have access to things such as helicopters and night vision goggles and all manner of weaponry that they're using to invade the privacy of a woman. They're violent sex offenders who are demons stalking in helicopters. That hallmark is underway in LA under the light source, which is not possibly the sun, that's remaining over me in Victorville. And you're going to remind yourself about when you're looking at the evidence, this is how you're prosecuting demons that are engaging in a demonic pattern of conduct, group stalking in a way in which is showing what is a scientific impossibility, that the sun is through my bedroom window at the same time that it's remaining over me through my hotel window. What's seen through my bedroom window is not the cause of sunlight inside of this hotel. On its face, it's not sunlight because you're already aware of what is present for 8 hours earlier. This is not the sun and this is not sunlight. This is the crime scene where the entity is engaging in what is present in the engineered environment, which is what demons are doing. State monitoring, federal stalking. This is P.O.C. All right, this is what the entity is doing day in and day out. I want to document that. The entity is keeping the fake sun over my office at Alvarado Gardens, where the entity is group stalking by helicopter. The entity is keeping the fake sun over my apartment while I was documenting. And I use those two videos at 3:48 p.m. and 3:48 p.m. when I'm in Victorville, showing you what is a specific environment. This is where an entity is keeping that fake sun. So let's just recall what was documented in the morning at the same address where the sun is not possibly, it's not the natural environment, rather, where the light source would still be present over this building. This is the same hotel, but at 9 o'clock in the morning, this is the fake sun. Okay, this is the same environment where I'm present, where the entity is maintaining this environment right now. That's where I'm standing at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the fake sun is over the building. This is the same exact location, parking lot. The entities keeping the fake sun. This is supposed to be the illusion that that's the sun and this is the sunlight. You're going to prosecute based on that highly unintelligent and unpersuasive illusion. It's non-movement of a fake sun, which is speaking to the targeting by a population that is demon-possessed who was group stalking you. Okay, doing so with unfounded audacity, unfounded boldness. 8 PSP 765, that demon's going to federal prison, just like every other demon checking out hotel rooms and working at this hotel. Okay, they're doing so as a population obsessed with my genitalia, all of them. They're group stalking and they're violent sex offenders. The likes of the group stalker, the likes of this entity, they are the likes of the sex offender that engages in violating children, engages in acts of violence amongst the public. All right, they are demon possessed, they are a threat to the public, and they're a threat to themselves. All right, and they are engaging in what is no longer a secret, because the specific environment that you're looking at is the specific environment that's remaining over me and also over you, because there's only one sun. But yet in Louisiana, in Missouri, in Montana, in Georgia, where you look up, you're looking at a light source. It's not the sun. My evidence is directly relevant to the environment that surrounds you wherever you are in this country. All right, and it's directly probative with regard to the matter of public corruption that is being exposed, and it's demonic. It's straight out of hell. This is a demonic imitation of the natural environment, and it's also highly unintelligent. That is Satan, who is not the all-knowing, omniscient, omnipotent God. This demonic imitation of this light source is hovering, hunkered down, directly above buildings, and that is not the sun. And it's also moving in real time. Literally, as I walk to the left, the fake sun goes to the left. As I walk to the right, the fake sun goes to the right. As I stay still, so you see the fake sun, it stays still. It's very unintelligent. Very unintelligent. In this environment, demons stalking, okay? And that is a very expensive federal offense. Holiday Inn is going to be drained for that, civilly prosecuted, and it shall be punitive with regard to the damages afforded, all right? Also with regard to a criminal prosecution, not just of that company name, but also of the people of the state who represent Holiday Inn, who are engaging in group stalking by patronage at Holiday Inn, group stalking with the population. All right, this is the state of California. Under no circumstances sharing any sun through my bedroom window in Los Angeles, which the documentation shows occurs at the same time. That's POC. That is the POC. That's not the natural environment. That's POC. And it's very highly unintelligent. It is currently 4:21 p.m. and I want to make sure that you see the faces of the sex offenders terrorizing me today, entering my hotel room, engaging in what is stalking by amplified audible activity. They're going to federal prison. These are violent sex offenders. And they act with impunity. They act with outright disregard for the rights of another, for a woman that does not want to be kept under surveillance, who does not want you monitoring her genitalia, what's going on with her genitalia, and exhibiting hostility because you're enforcing your rights. This is a demon trying to cover up her name tag. This is Maria L. This sex offender is going to federal prison. And any of the people of the state that are documented who are engaging in federal stalking on the venue of the internet, that's what this is, while they're group stalking you, that are not natural born citizens, they're going to be deported. And that's not just these demons here, the entire population that's engaged in this criminal offense in California. You will be cleansing the population by deporting those engaging in this un-American act of terrorism in the state of California. They shall be deported. It is currently 4:22 p.m. This is POC.